Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be creating this uh, pink and fuchsia look with my Provisions Desert Sage eye palette. And so if you saw, I think I had created this blue and brown look when I was doing my Provisions video. So if you want to check that out, please do so. So I did start off, I already sprayed it, but I did start off with this Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer Mist from Hard Candy. And it's a spray, which I really, really liked. And I'm not great about wearing primers. Not to say that I have anything against it. I just haven't found that perfect combination, I guess. But I've been really kind of suffering with some dry patches and that sort of thing. So my skin has been kind of angry lately. We're right in the middle of the winter, and so my skin has been really kind of drying out, which is kind of a bummer because I've had oily skin for quite a while. It seems like after I had my children, my skin just changed, and all of a sudden I had really oily skin. And that has, its perks, but also its cons as well. But I actually prefer it way more than dry skin. So I did want to add as much hydration as I could. So I started that off, and then of course I am going to add my Milani Eye Primer. You know how I love this. I do need to look though for another one that is a little bit more, that kind of blanks out all the colors so that if you really wanted to use vibrant colors, it would stand out. So if you guys have any suggestions on ones you think I should try, please let me know. And even though it is cold outside, I do want to kind of create a little bit of a summery look with this. So we'll see how this goes. Now, this eyeshadow palette, like I said, it's a lot of fun. I can do this pink, fuchsia look today. You have these greens and mossy greens that are beautiful that I'm really excited to try it as well. And then you've got these yellows, so you can create a lot of very fun summery type looks. Unfortunately, this palette doesn't have like your basic colors. It's limited on its transition shades, as well as it doesn't have a black. So what I'm going to do is supplement that with my Beauty Glazed little book here. And I've used this several times as well, and you can pretty much find any color you want. I think with this pink color, what I'd like to use as a transition shade is this right here. Maybe a combination of these two here. Okay. And what I'm wanting to do is get this color into the crease as well as blending it on up. What I'm also going to do is add some more of the pink into the transition shade. But I want this actually layering. So this is going to be the first layer. And then we're going to go in with the pink and not take it quite as high up. And this is a nice tone, a complementary tone with the pinks. But the little circles is what really kind of gets everything blended on upward. Okay, now I am going to go in. So now I'm going to go in with this one here. Now I do have a touch of yellow in my outfit, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with this to keep it bright. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with this even pearlier, a little bit darker of a yellow. Okay. And that's keeping the eyelid nice and bright. Now what I'm going to do is go in with this one here and then this one at the very corner. I'm just kind of tapping this. And what this is doing is just kind of melding those two together. And this is the first time that I've used this. And what's interesting about this color is it's it's almost like iridescent. So it's throwing off even almost little blue vibes. And I made the mistake of really digging into the blue at one point and I didn't tap it off. You have to tap it off every time. Otherwise, you're really going to get fallout. And I'm keeping it just right there. And by doing that, then I'm saving myself from having to blend too darker, you know, the dark color with the transition shade. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, I am not loving the iridescent blue. That's not really the effect that I wanted. So what I am going to do is go in with this one and add this pink, hot pink, and it does have a little bit of a shimmer to it. So let's try that one out and kind of just cover that section. So that's more what I was thinking. And so now what I'm going to do is deepen that crease just a bit. And what I'm going to do is use this color right here and just kind of focus it right here, most of the color right there, before starting to kind of drag it a little bit just to blend. I have really been trying to do my best to continue blending more than usual because I kind of wasn't very good at that. So now what I'm going to do is take the original transition brush and then just blend everything all back together. Okay. Now what I am going to do is go in with this, just a black, and do that as my eyeliner. And I'm just gently smudging that up. And I always kind of try to, you know, just head my little cat flick towards the very end of my brow. All right, so let me go and finish the other eye, put on my eyelashes, and I will be right back. What I am going to do today is do a more contoured, snatched look. So what you want to do is start off then with your brightening concealer. So it's not a matter so much of just concealing, it is wanting to brighten and bring out certain areas. So I am going to use my e.l.f. Hydro Concealer. And a little of this goes a long way. And then I do have my damp sponge ready. So I'm going to brighten this area down the nose, here, here, and here. Maybe a touch in here, and then out here. Okay. And what I'm going to start with is this end of my e.l.f. brush, just to get it initially placed and start of the blending process. And I'm carrying this up on this way. And you don't really have to be too careful at this point. But as you notice, most of the highlight area is in the center of your face. Okay, and then I am going to take my Wet n Wild Photo Focus. And with my foundations, as if you've seen my videos, I like to spread it on the brush nice and even so that it's a really even layer. And I dab when there's the most product, kind of right there and on my forehead, and then just start buffing it in. And just kind of blending the areas that you did highlight. You don't really need to go over it too much and darken that. The concealer should be a little bit lighter than your makeup if you want it to be then brightened. And then I just go over everything, making sure it's well blended. Okay. And then I am going to go in with my It by Pores. I love this powder, especially for setting my under eyes. It just is amazing at just blurring everything. And then I try to whisk away any extra product that might be sitting there. And then I'm going to go ahead and powder the rest of the face. Now, this foundation is matte, but I have the other one. I don't know what formula that is because there's nothing on the bottle that says matte or glowy or whatever they're called. It's just regular. So I don't know if that was maybe the original formula, and that's the one I use a lot. This to me doesn't seem that much different. It doesn't seem matte to me. It's not dry. It's still very, very skin-like. It lays on the skin really well. And like I say, I'm kind of suffering from some really dry patches and that sort of thing. So if you have that issue, definitely try these foundations out. I absolutely love them. So now I'm just going over the whole face with the powder. Just to kind of set. There is a little bit of moisture, which is nice, but I like to set it before going on with the contour and all that. Okay, so now we're going to go in and start adding the shadows. And I'm going back to my butter bronzer. I like this one, especially to show you the contour, because this one's a little bit on the darker side than some of the other ones that I have. So if you've seen any of my other videos where I talk about contouring, again, you want to kind of think of your face as a heart. So when I did all of the brightening, it was all within that heart area. Now we're going to go in with the darker areas and start creating shadows. So I'm starting off here, and I like to put the most product here, and then I turn the brush to the point and then just start dragging it along right underneath my bone, as high as you can to keep your face lifted, but still you're wanting it, like here's the bone and then you can feel the hollow. You don't want to go down more, because what that does is start dragging your face down, and who needs that, right? But you kind of just want to get the color in to, with, you know, on pretty much on the outside of your heart. So kind of right there. And then what I do, and depending on your forehead, again, you're wanting to keep this area bright, so the rest of the area you can add your contour. Now, a perk to us women that are getting a little bit older is that this area starts going in. And so I see some of the makeup YouTubers that actually add shadow there. We don't have to do that. You kind of want to leave that area alone. So then we go in here, again, starting with the most product and then just blending it down. For underneath here and here, so this area is my troubled spot, and how I've been contouring is I go right, facing up like this all along that bone, and then up around, and then down the neck. Okay, but one thing I'm playing with a little bit, does look like it's already there. Okay, so right around here, you could maybe even go up a little bit more. Okay, because it's this that I'm kind of wanting to give the illusion that it's not there. Now, I do see a little bit here. We are going to do a little bit of cleanup. So if it does get a little bit out, then... And then it's this area right here that you're wanting to darken. And in order to get it to blend, then you want to take it down your neck. But that way, when this starts showing, it's a little bit on the darker side. Okay. So again, I'm kind of going up a little bit more around that area. Then I go back kind of, the way I used to. And then around here and down my neck. Kind of just doing this. My mirror keeps moving on me. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more here. Now for the nose, what I have really been enjoying doing is I've got the most product on it now. Where I want to focus on is the widest part of my nose, which is right here and here. And so I kind of dab right in the middle on both sides where the most product is. And then you start, you know how they always do the lines. So we're going to do that, but just with a lot less product. So I'm kind of going like this and then going up. Going like this, going in a bit, and then up. Okay, and then maybe blending a little bit down. You still have to blend, but it's a lot less than when you just put those harsh lines and then you're just blending away, and you end up having to go back and forth, back and forth. Okay. And so now our contouring basically is done except for my mouth, which we'll get to. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is take some blush, and I am using my Tarte, I think it's called Seduce. And so here I'm just going to add it basically on top of the contour, slightly just, and I do it in the center. Unlike here where you start with the most of it, what I'm doing is just dabbing in the center right here and kind of blurring it out, blurring it on up, but keeping it just on top of the concealer and just maybe slightly above. And you're following it right up to the hairline. And you start off kind of soft in case you do have a lot of product, because you don't want that big old right there, because then it is hard to, you know, blend out. But I got it in, and now I'm just kind of diffusing it along the way. And what I mean by, I am going to put a little bit here. I do like to add a nice little, more of a rosy glow along my forehead. I had the bright here, so it's lifting like this. My eyeliners and keeping my eyeshadow from falling down, everything's kind of going like this. The contour is going along those same lines like this, and then your chin and this area again is just trying to keep everything at this angle. Think of a heart, think of it kind of going up, and a lifted look. And then what you want to do is go in with your highlighter and emphasize those high points. So right here along the heart, and then down the nose. If you so desire, you can put it right here as well. Now what I'm going to do is take my foundation brush and just go in and clean up and blend any edges. Kind of knock this down if it got a little high. There we go. And then again, I do like to go in with another bit of powder. This is more to just blur everything together. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I know some people maybe don't like adding the powder or whatever, but that's just something I like to do. Okay, so now for the lips, I am going to take my Superstay matte ink, and this one is Seductress, and it's a very neutral nude. And I just put a thin layer all along my lips. And then I'm going to take my Stay Exceptional Superstay ink crayon, which I love. And these are the thicker pencils. And I go right along the line, slightly overlining. But what I have been doing is going to, about there, stopping short of both sides there. And then I just kind of add a little bit of definition along the mouth. Go about there. And then inward, bypassing the corners. And then I line the bottom lip up. With the top as much as I can. Bypassing those inner corner, or those, you know, these corners, because those just drag down anyway. So then what you can do is just take a clear gloss and go over everything. Okay, and so now I am going to take my very skinny e.l.f. brow pencil, and the technique that I like to use with my brows to give it a little bit more of a lift is going ahead and filling in like you normally do, but really focusing on the top part. And you could even extend your arch up a little bit higher if you want. And then when I go to do the tail, rather than following my tail out, I try to go straight. Try to keep as straight as possible. So it's kind of going on the top end of my hairs, a little bit higher than my actual brow. And that way I'm not dragging it down as much. And then you can go in and fill but I kind of keep it a little bit lighter on the bottom side. And then I go in with my gel, my Control Freak, which is clear. I just push all of my brows kind of up, maybe a little bit of an angle. They're not straight up, but kind of up. And by doing this, it makes it look thicker. Okay. Now I could go in and darken that tail just a bit, where it's between the top and then the bottom. Okay. Okay. And now I do have all of my links for the products that I do mention in my videos. So please feel free to use those links. If you do use the links and make a purchase within 24 hours of clicking on that link, I will get a percentage of the products that you buy. So that really does help my channel out a lot, and I want to thank you in advance. So now what I am going to do is take my highlighter and finish up just adding the final touches to my eye. And so I'm adding a little touch right there in the inner corner, and then right under the arch of my brow. Just right there. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.